Now let's add a little bit of an interior to our vehicle. So I've just got the canopy on a templated layer so that we can see what we're doing here. And we just want to add a little bit of something in here in the interior. So I'm going to start with just a polygon primitive cylinder. And I'll go ahead and kind of scale that up and rotate it just at kind of that angle. Scale that out and lengthwise. Okay. We'll kind of move it up into position. Let's give it some more resolution along the height. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and delete the front here. Okay. And I'm also going to delete kind of the top. Okay, so I want to go ahead and delete just that top area. And all the way down. Oops. And just kind of like that. So we're left with this sort of shell. Okay, let's go ahead and reverse our normals. Let's grab a lattice and kind of scale this in. So our lattice points and just kind of that out like that. Okay, and we're just working from the kind of the top shape right now. We'll just kind of shape it to our canopy. Delete our history. We can take the vertices here and move them down below the canopy, wherever they're sticking up. Okay. And we might want to kind of scale those out until it's sort of underneath that line there. Same thing on here, just so that it's hidden by our geometry. And same thing back here. And we don't have to be too exact. We just want a little bit of something in here. Okay, I'll grab these points and pull them down. Okay. Maybe move these up so that it's kind of filling in all those empty spaces there. And move those up as well. Okay, so that can be sort of our rough interior piece. And now we can bring in just a polygonal cube. Bring this up to the front here. Let's scale it out. Scale it back in. Okay. Give it some height. We can kind of penetrate down into that interior if we wanted to. And we'll move it back. Okay, let's give it some resolution so we can kind of give it a nice curvature up here. So we'll start to give it a little bit of resolution like that. We can start to shape this. So we'll go ahead and bring this up, and bring this up, and bring this up like that. Okay. And now let's grab those. Let's actually insert an edge loop right in here. Okay, we'll grab these front faces here. Go ahead and extrude those. We'll pull those straight out, and we'll transition into more of a dash shape. Okay, and then we can kind of create a nice curvature with this. So I'll go ahead and scale this out kind of to match our canopy. And then push these in a little bit. We can bring this whole thing out. Okay, just so we get a little bit more of a instrument panel there. Okay, we can bring this out a little farther if we want to. Just some kind of interesting shapes in there to make it look like there's something going on. We can also create a kind of a steering wheel, and we can do this sort of like an airplane yoke just by bringing in another cube. And again, in here you can kind of do whatever you want to do. We'll just bring in a cube, kind of like that. Let's give it some resolution along the width and the height. Let's take these faces, basically just the ones on the corners, go ahead and extrude those, and extrude them again. Can maybe scale those up, something like that. Okay. Extrude again. And then let's delete these faces. Select those edges and these edges, and let's just do a bridge. Under polygons, edit mesh bridge. Just do a bridge, and let's add a little bit of resolution in there. Okay, and then we can come in and shape this. Something more like that. And then we can just do the same thing on the other side. Bridge, 3 divisions. Move this out, and then pull this in. So that we're just creating an interesting shape here for our steering wheel. And you can spend as much or as little time on this interior stuff as you want to. You could really go all the way and make it really nice and really finish out your car, and then you can have a lot of really nice renders with it. You know, kind of having with the canopy open. I think that would look really nice. Just depends on how much time you have to work on it and really what the needs are. If you're just doing it as a personal project, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And as always, we'd love to see the sort of the different variations that people come up with for all of the projects included in all of our training. It's really interesting to see what different people come up with. Alright, and then if you want to, you can take the back of this and just sort of extrude out a steering column. Delete those faces. So again, very low resolution, but we're just trying to get some sort of a shape in here. So if you look at there, you can kind of see something going on. But for this, you probably don't want to get too close. You can go ahead and bevel that out if you wanted to give it a little bit more interest there. All right, let's go ahead and build maybe a real quick seat. So let's go ahead and just use a cube. And I'm going to go to the side view here. And first I'll scale it up. And I'll just create kind of this seat by adding some divisions here. Create some divisions that way and that way. And then some divisions here. We'll go ahead and scale this out. And then I'll just kind of move some of these points to create our seat. Scale that in. Just to create an interesting seat shape. And this is just from the profile here. And you can make sure that the rough shape kind of fits in there. Okay, we'll scale it out in this direction. Okay, we can isolate that. Let's go ahead and take our faces here. Just these top faces, and we'll extrude those and give us a little rim around the edge there. All right. And we can take that rim and extrude it up. Get that selected to add a little rim there around the seat. We'll just go ahead and extrude that up just slightly. And now let's take basically every other row here of faces and extrude those up. Rescale them in a bit. We'll do the same thing for those rows that we missed there. Do that so we can, maintain, make them separate. And then we've just got a very simple seat that we can stick in there. And you can put something behind that seat if you want to, or simply extrude this back part out. Okay, so that's a kind of a real quick interior, and like I said, you can spend as much time on that as you want, put in details in there, but we're concentrating more on the exterior, so we'll keep working on that. So in the next lesson, let's go ahead and start to work on the back end of the car. So adding things like panels for maybe a trunk or an access panel and some exhaust and things like that. So we'll go ahead and in the next lesson move around to the back and start working there.